I can pretty much guarantee that your friends aren't going to be wearing any of these 10 fragrances, and they're going to be pretty jealous. I think one of the most exciting things about this hobby is having some like-minded individuals around you, in real life especially, that you can share this with. You know, you can sample things that maybe you wouldn't have tried before if they get a new bottle in, and then they kind of put you onto something that you wouldn't have tried or wouldn't have purchased, and vice versa. And with that, I think usually comes some friendly competition, because you're always going to be fighting to be the best smelling guy in the room. And if you know someone who is also trying to do the same thing, you know, it can be a little bit hard to kind of keep up with each other. And really, it goes outside of that as well, even if they're not super into fragrances, but maybe they have just a select couple, you know, of the off-the-shelf retailer specials that you could get pretty much anywhere that are going to be labeled as generic. You're going to roll up wearing one of these, and they are immediately going to notice that what you're wearing is wildly different than what they have on, and they're going to want to know more. And so I'll link some of these down below for you, or I'll link all of them down below if you want to pick them up at discounters. I think this type of video is kind of fun just because it shows you the type of variety that's out there, and it kind of shows you the disconnect between us in the fragrance community and people outside of it who don't really have the same type of knowledge base that we might. Also, we're going into fourth quarter here, end of the year. Now is the time to be shopping for fragrances. There's going to be so many sales, so many restocks on the horizon. Like now through the end of the year, it's going to be crazy. If you've been holding off and saving some money, now would be the time to let loose if you do want to make some purchases for yourself, because the prices aren't going to get much better than what's coming up. So jump on my mailing list and texting list down below. I'll keep you up to date with all of that stuff. First up, we have HARAMAIN DETOUR NOIR. Now, this is a clone of Parfums de Marly Layton. I can almost guarantee that most people around you aren't going to be wearing Layton, because a lot of people can't fathom the idea of paying that much money for a fragrance. You know, you're looking at $350 retail, I believe. You can get it for $160, $170, $180 on discounters. Still very expensive. And to take it one step further, most people have no idea that there are clones out there available to allow you to smell similar to that at a fraction of the cost. And by that, I mean about $30 in this case. And that's what this one's all about. A Layton clone for around $30 or so. It's fantastic stuff. Gets that apple cinnamon combo down, the vanilla tonka really well. Even has some of that kind of green menthol tingle and texture that you get from Layton. That's in here as well. It's a really, really good, accurate representation. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know, if I wasn't doing this type of deal here, having a channel and talking about fragrances all the time, there is basically a 100% chance that I would have nowhere near the amount of fragrances that I have, and especially niche. So I would wear this if I didn't actually have Layton. And in fact, I do wear this from time to time. I really like it because it's so affordable that I can spray this one on even if I know I'm going to take a shower in a couple hours or something. You know, it can be a kind of a starter scent for the day. You know, maybe get up in the morning, spray this on, do a few things, and jump in the shower, or whatever it may be. You don't feel like you're wasting this one like you might if you did that with Layton or any other expensive scent. People aren't going to be wearing this one around you. This is a great way to stand out for a low cost. Kind of speaking of low cost and sticking with that trend, we have Roberto Cavalli UOMO. This is the original here. Pretty much the only one that is still in production and that you can get. Around $30 as well. It's got violet leaf honey, some tonka bean in here. A little bit ozonic, a little bit sweet, a little bit powdery as well. Really like it a lot. I think it's something unique. I think it stands out, has some great variety to it. And again, like I had mentioned, things like Silver Essence, UOMO La Notte, and the golden bottle. I think it's some sort of 50th anniversary or whatever it is. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Gold bottle. That one's hard to get too. They're all hard to get now. But this is kind of the flagship one. It's the originator of the line, and so you could still grab this one. And I do recommend picking it up for an affordable price like this. It's really hard to beat, and you're just not going to be smelling this all over the place. And really same thing with PACO Rabanne Pure Excess Night. And let's face it, you can't say that about most PACO Rabannes. A lot of guys out there to this day are still going to be wearing Invictus and 1 Million. things of that variety. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. They're great scents. They work well for a reason. They get the job done. I do think people are still probably paying retail for them when they shouldn't, because again, kind of going back to what we were talking about in the beginning, there's a big disconnect. A lot of people don't realize that there is a whole discounter market where you can usually save, in that instance there, probably, I don't know, $40 or $50 off of retail, something like that. Maybe not quite that steep, but close-ish. And in a lot of cases, you could save more than that off of retail by shopping through discounters. And so I think that's the only shame in that department there. 1 million Invictus, I can't hate on them. They do work. But when it comes to standing out and smelling different, something like Pure XS Night is going to accomplish that really well. And it's still from a reputable, proven designer brand. What is this one about? It's got a lot of caramel. It's got some ginseng, some ginger as well. It is spicy like no other off the top. I've said it before, the opening in the air, it's spicy. It's got some serious kick to it. Like every time I spray it and smell it like that almost, it makes me want to sneeze, okay? And I really like it. You know, I like that about it. But you get this one on skin and smell it that way, it's even more peppery and spicy. And that is going to be the thing that a lot of people will not like, and it's something that you can't get around or avoid because you get that off the opening each and every time. So for a lot of people, this is kind of a spray it and either love it or hate it type of deal for the most part. A lot of people probably won't even decide to make it to the dry down or give it another wearing or several wearings if they can't get past that opening. So this one really gives you the option or the opportunity and the chance to wear this one through and really smell different and unique, because there's nothing else out there really like this. Next up, we have Bulgari Man Wood Neroli. You know, when it comes down to it, fresher scents are among the most popular, just in general, especially for beginners. You know, they're easy to get into, they're versatile, you can't really mess them up, so to speak. People wear 1 million and Eros and things in the summertime. They get away with it just fine. And for the most part, for people who aren't into the hobby like this, that just works and it's whatever. It's fine. It does the job. No real major issues there. Not something that a lot of us would probably do, but nonetheless, people do it. But with fresher scents, there's just less of that worry too, because you can wear this in the winter and it's not going to get cloying. It's not going to get annoying. In fact, the cold weather will tame this one down more than you would probably want. And so fresher scents just have a greater margin to work within and less room for error. And so this one is a fresher scent. It obviously has neroli with some woods. The woods are not too strong or too spicy. It's not really much of a cedar wood here. It's some less spicy, soapier woods. Orange blossom as well. A lot of musk. It smells fantastic. It's just not the one that's going to make it far in the mass market. So a lot of guys out there are going to have no idea that this one exists, which is great for you and I. And so you can spray this one on. It's going to pair perfectly with spring weather. Depending on where you are in the world right now, it's right on time at the time of me uploading this, or if you're where I'm at right now, we're heading into fall and maybe not the best time right now. Grab a bottle, stash it away until spring. You will be surprised on how well this one works. When the sun is out, you know, as it is so often in spring and things are coming back to life and the temperatures are starting to just get a little touch of a warmth in them, this one pairs perfectly. I would say in general, most guys aren't going to be touching too many iris scents, you know, outside of the community. They're going to be wanting to play it safer, and that's not something that's going to really reach out to them like maybe some other sweet style scents. You know, the iris is a note that can really throw people off. So this gives you the opportunity to wear something that is still fitting in within a common iris DNA, but with its own different twist as well. Carolina Herrera Iris Empire. I've described this one many times, but you know, I have new viewers and new watchers and new subscribers to the channel every day, and so I'll go over it really quickly. Think DETOUR Homme Intense, Valentino UOMO Intense. Think that type of iris DNA mixing with some of the leather from CH Men Privé, obviously same designer brand. It really does smell like CH Men Privé mixed with some of those heavy hitter iris scents. You even get some of that chocolate in here, which you kind of get from DETOUR Homme Intense. It is really, really good. Beautiful pressurized atomizer. The scent is phenomenal. it has become one of my favorite iris scents. I love this stuff. It's great. It even almost gives off just a touch of like a whiskey note. And I think it's because the leather that's used in here is so similar to that of CH-Men Privé, and CH-Men Privé is all about the leather and the whiskey. And I think that's kind of where that correlation comes from. It could just be in my head, but I really like how this one turned out. The blend here is phenomenal. And so if you're looking for an iris scent that's going to stand out, that really commands a premium, but does deliver in that category, check this one out. If you're into stuff like this, you will love it. I still remember exactly where I was in my house when I smelled this for the first time. That's how much of an impact this left on me, and that doesn't happen often. Really special stuff. Pepe Jean's Cocktail is all about the grapefruit here. Another citrus, fresher scent for sure, but a really well done one. Does stand out, and this is going back to the more affordable side of things here. $30 range, 100 milliliters. That Iris Empire there is, you know, $220, maybe $230, a little bit more pricey, but we kind of jump around, and I do like to give some variety in here because I know people have differing price ranges all across the board. But this is one that, again, is going back to that less room for error thought process. It's so fresh, it's so clean, it's so wearable, it's really impossible to offend anyone with this. But at the same token, it's still going to be different. It's still going to stand out, and it's not going to smell like your typical run-of-the-mill citrus scents that are in all of the retailers and you know, rack stores all over the place. And that's what I like about this one. Really well done, really impressive. It's made it high ranking in a few of my top 10 summer designer fragrances videos. And those videos, generally, they have some competition because I love summer fragrances. That's kind of what got me started. And so I have a lot of them. I have more freshies than sweet scents. Maybe it's more equaled out now, but at one point, it was very much favoring in the fresh department, my collection. And so a lot of competition for those lists. This one has ranked very well quite a few times. It excels in the bright, brutal summer heat. I love this stuff. Very affordable, stands out big time. Let's jump over to something a little bit more appropriate for this time of year, you know, fall going into winter time. This one is super comfortable. It is CARNER Barcelona Elborn. This was one of my first niche vanilla smells. Like, this is one of the first ones that I smelled on the more premium side of things. Way back in the day, I sampled it first, and I still remember it was just like, I smelled it and I'm like, I can't believe this is a fragrance that you can just buy in a bottle. Like, it is so realistic when it comes to the vanilla note here, the Tolu balsam in here, all of that stuff. It very much has a booziness, a syrupy, boozy vanilla. It is phenomenal. There's nothing quite like it. There is a ton of vanilla scents out there. There's, of course, Guerlain, Spiritus Double Vanille, and all of these other ones, and even on the designer side, Mercedes-Benz Club Black. Nothing quite like this. This one holds a special place in my heart. And so you have to like standalone vanilla, syrupy, boozy scents to like this one. This is not for everybody, but if you're into this sort of thing, this will really impress you. Bottega Veneta Pour Homme Extreme. This is all about the woods. Like, this smells like a lumberjack. This smells like a guy out there processing some firewood in fall right now. You know, getting your stash ready for winter. Maybe you heat your home with fire or whatever. This just has, it's got the pine needles, it's got the woods, it has the bark smell. Everything about this one is masculine and traditional. This does not pull all of the strings of new modern designer releases being very sweet and powdery and whatever. This is very much more of a throwback style, more of a traditionally masculine scent. It smells like a guy wearing a flannel. That's the best way to describe this one, and I really like it. Very much an outdoorsy smelling scent, and I love the outdoors. And especially for this time of year, this one is very much appropriate to me. Flannel season, this works perfectly. It's a little bit more pricey. You know, these usually aren't too far off of retail. I mean, they're still in the 100s, even on discounters. Maybe they creep just a touch below, but right around in that price point. Definitely a little bit more of a premium price, but there's really nothing else out there that delivers this type of personality and emotion and smell. And so for me, this is a big winner in a lot of categories. Definitely one that stands out, one that most people aren't going to be wearing. Guerlain, L'Instant de Guerlain. eau de parfum or Lidge, whatever you want to call it. You know, this one's been through so many bottle changes. Your bottle may look like this. It may look like the L'Homme Ideal bottles, or it may look like the bottles before this, the ones that just simply look different. I have one over there. You've seen the vintage bottles before. They're continuing to change the bottles and update things, and probably just for simplification because they have so many different fragrances, of course, and now they're all kind of in the L'Homme Ideal bottles, I guess. You know, I don't know, but that's kind of where we're at. This is a fantastic patchouli and cacao scent. It's chocolatey, it's woody, it's a little bit earthy, not too much. Another one that's very masculine, very classy and upscale, and a little bit more old school smelling, although not like old man smelling. You know, I always hesitate to say that because I don't want people to get the wrong idea. This just has more of a premium and expensive smell compared to something like, you know, 1 Million or Invictus, which is just more casual. This very much has an upscale, dressed up, down to business type of smell. This is something that you would wear when you want to be taken seriously as an adult. So I really like this one. You know, it's great for the cooler times of the year because that chocolatey, dusty, patchouli nature, great stuff. And last up, we've got Hugo Boss The Scent Private Accord. The Maninka fruit makes this one stand out big time. It's such a unique note, and you pick up on it in the entire line. Very distinct. You know, I always kind of say it's like a violet leaf. You can pick up on violet leaf whenever it's used, even if they're not intending for that to be the main note. Usually when it's in there and they're not just blatantly lying about it and throwing in random stuff, you can pick up on it. It does stand out. I guess kind of like maybe an oud as well. That's kind of how the Maninka fruit is. It doesn't really blend in. It's impossible to miss. It's unique. It really is fruity. It's a sweet fruity note. And this one here, you're getting some leather and some other notes. This was back when they gave you a full note breakdown. Now they're just kind of doing 3 notes. You might have just witnessed me almost spray myself directly in the face. That would have been funny. Luckily, I didn't quite get there, but it was close. Yeah, this is one of their better releases. They've been coming out with some good ones. I really like the new magnetic release, Boss The Scent Magnetic. It's great. Got a lot of good ones. Le Parfum is good. They're all really good, but Private Accord still is probably one of the better ones. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. Some fragrances that your friends would be jealous of because they're not wearing them and you are. You discovered them first. You kind of hold the rights to these now in your friendly competition there, and they're going to be missing out. And again, even if it's not, you know, people that you know, you're just going to be wearing these, other people aren't, and you're going to smell amazing and really stand out. Jump on my mailing list and my texting list. I'm telling you guys, now is the time to be on the hunt for some great deals and great restocks, which will be coming up. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.